All right, nephews, lock in. Give me just a second here. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Johnny, just a moment. If you want to talk about this weekend in Pittsburgh in the draft, Johnny, go ahead and rock first and introduce yourself first.
All right, so I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I am a personal trainer and life coach here in beautiful Pittsburgh, PA, where I am a Steeler fan. And I got to say, if you are a Steeler fan and you actually follow the draft, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to give our overall draft grade over at least the first 5, if not all 7 rounds. I'm going to give us a B, not a B plus, not a B minus. I'm going to give the Steelers a B. And if you disagree with me, please leave it in the comments. Shoot me an email. Call in and tell me why you think we should deserve a better or worse grade in the draft, because I think we did a little bit better than a lot of people think. Anyway, I'm not, I give men real talk about fitness, about life, about relationships, dating, whatever it happens to be. I just want you to stop getting played and start winning. If you're contemplating, excuse me, if you were contemplating doing something, and it sounds stupid, or it sounds a little off the charts, outside of the box, fiscally or financially irresponsible, something that just doesn't for some reason seem to make sense in your own head, do yourselves and us and our audience a favor and shoot it to us in an email. Leave it in the comments. Ask us first before you do it, because chances are Uncle Bill or I, or one of our audience members who would be more than happy to help you out, has probably done it and found out the hard way why you don't do whatever it is you're thinking of doing. Remember, chances are what you're contemplating is going to kind of build towards your persona as what we call a simp. And simps are not victims, even though they are going to feel like victims. They're going to tell people that they are victims. No, they're volunteers. Okay? So the biggest thing that we're going to teach you when it comes to the questions and answers we're going to get here is that simps are not victims. They are volunteers. Okay? She cannot belong to the streets and on a pedestal at the same time. Now, we've got great stories. Our family members have great stories. And they can tell you a lot of really, really funny things about things we've done and what the result was. But we're not proud of those stories. We're not proud of the results of those stories. But we are proud of the men that we have become as a result of the lessons we've learned from those failures. In short, we screwed up so you don't have to.
Well said, Johnny. All right, nephews, let's get honest here tonight. Most people don't wake up one day and decide to leave you. They get pushed there to that point. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small moments. It happens when you overthink instead of trusting, when you press harder instead of giving space, when you need reassurance instead of staying grounded in who you are. And you don't even realize that all of this it's happening because in your mind, you're trying to hold on to that connection. All right. But from the outside. And what's happening, nephews, is you guys are creating pressure. See, nobody tells you this, but attraction, it doesn't die from low effort. It dies from, well, the wrong kind of effort. The constant checking in, the over analyzing, why didn't you respond, the needing more time, more text, more validation. Johnny, look,
man, it's a dopamine addiction. It's a dopamine addiction, man.
Nephews, this doesn't bring someone closer. We want you to understand it slowly pushes them away. And the worst part, you can feel it happening. You can feel that shift. You feel them pulling back from you. And instead of stepping back, observing, a lot of you tend to lean in harder. You try to fix it. You try to reassure it. You try to control something, well, to be honest, that was never meant to be controlled. And that's the moment you lose it, nephews. Yep. You lose your position. That's when it happens. So tonight, We're breaking down real situations. Men who they just can't process how their ex moved on so fast, or a man trying to force connection in a long distance relationship. Different stories, but a lot of these questions you're going to see tonight, they have the same exact problem. Nephews, it's emotional dependency replacing self-control. Now, nephews, this isn't about blaming women.
And it's no different from a substance addiction. It's no different from a gambling addiction. It's no different from any compulsion that you just can't seem to control.
Nephews, this is about what you feel and what you do when you feel uncertain. All right, because when you need constant reassurance, when you tie your mood to somebody else's behavior, when you try to control the connection, all right, and ignore what their actions are telling you, all right, you don't protect the relationship. You end up putting pressure on it. And that pressure, it's going to kill attraction every single time. All right, so tonight we're going to show you how anxiety actually shows up in relationships, why effort doesn't fix instability, and how to read behavior instead of getting lost in words, and how to regulate yourself so you don't sabotage your own connection. So, nephews, if you're dealing with something right now, please drop it in the chat, put a question in there, call in, give me one moment. I'll get our phone number up. We were having some technical difficulties today, but this is Ask Your Favorite Uncles. Nephew, ask the questions you've been avoiding. The truth is just a phone call away. Let's get to work, Johnny.
So before we do, by the way, if you're a Pittsburgh Penguin fan, by the way, we just won tonight. So we're still down 3-2 in the series, but we're going to Philadelphia, and hey, we got a shot, guys. Let's go Pens. Anyway. So we have question 1 from Robert. Robert says, I can't process how it's easy for someone to move on. I'm 25, and my ex and I broke up about 8 months ago after being together for 3 years. First couple of years were honestly amazing. I really thought she was the one. Even though it was a long distance, we made a real effort meeting often, staying connected, and doing everything we could. But in the last year, things started falling apart. We had differences, kept going on and off, and could not find stability. The love was still there, but it just was not working. I suggested taking proper space like no contact to figure things out individually, but we never stuck to it. We'd end up talking again, patch things temporarily, and then break again. Break up again, I think is what he means. It became a cycle. Eventually, we ended it for good. After the breakup, she did not take it well. She got into heavy drinking, and went through a depressive phase. I couldn't be there in person because of work, and I still feel guilty about it. I really wanted her to never go into the bad habits. Later, we met and got some closure. But then about a month later, I found out she was already seeing someone else. She literally kissed him on their first meet while being drunk. Are you really going to... All right, we'll get to that. They started dating. That completely broke me. So when they became emotionally official, that's what completely broke you? All right, whatever. I couldn't understand how it could happen so fast. She used to tell me it would be impossible for her to even kiss someone else. She told you that she couldn't imagine kissing someone else? Well, I mean, Uncle Bill, her words got to be truth.
All right, Johnny, hold on. We got some questions in the chat, and I apologize, guys. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 things at once. TikTok, you can join us live on YouTube. Johnny, Sony Guru, he wanted to know, he says, there's no guy that takes space. It's either you in or out porno. Sonny, call up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get our phone lines up. But Johnny, go ahead. And shout out to you, Ben, for writing in too. Appreciate the comments.
All right. So,
go ahead.
So he said, I couldn't understand how she had moved on so fast. She used to tell me it would be impossible for her to even kiss someone else. Let alone having thoughts of dating would be impossible. Well, while you're dating, I would hope she would tell you that, but right? Who knew she was full of? All right, so that those things matter deeply to her. How can these words said from the heart be so hollow? It didn't even last for a month. Within 4 to 5 months, she was already physical with the guy, which I'm assuming he means that he's butthurt that she slept with somebody else within 6 months of being with him. That's the part.
Oh, man.
Robert, you are killing yourself in a way that I can't even. All right. So that's the part I can't get out of my head. It makes me question everything including was what we had even real, is what he's saying. What confuses me even more is that when I spoke to her 2 months ago, she said she hasn't moved on, but her actions do not match that at all. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Uncle Bill, if her actions say one thing and her words say another, which one should you believe?
Always the actions, Johnny. Now,
why is that?
I gotta tell you, I don't understand. This guy is going through replacement shock. All right, you're not stuck because she's moved on, nephew. You're stuck because you're trying to make her actions match her words. You need a reality check now, because you got to understand. She told him, "I haven't moved on." Right, Johnny? Didn't I hear that part? But she kissed someone. She started dating. She's even been physical with them. Nephew, that's not confusion.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Bill.
That's behavior telling the truth.
You're right. But here's the thing, Uncle Bill. You and I both know that to be logic and truth and the way things work. But she had a counterpunch. You know what she said? When he told her it seemed like she had moved on, she got upset and said, I was taking her feelings for granted.
Absolutely.
She had a counterpunch. She figured out a way to make him feel badly.
Johnny, I apologize. I don't mean to interrupt. JD, you absolutely call in. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead and continue. Let me get our phone lines open.
When he noticed that her actions did not match her words, he told her that it seemed like she had moved on because, hey, her actions. He was actually trying to use his logic to make a decision. Okay? She got upset and said that he was taking her feelings for granted. Now she's the victim. Now she's the one who's being hurt by his assumptions based on her actions, which have told him more than her words ever would. Uncle Bill?
Well, here's the thing, Johnny. This is where you got to understand, he lost control. All right, because he stayed emotionally.
I'm not sure he ever had it.
After the breakup. All right, so you kept checking in with her. You kept talking to her. You kept trying to understand, and you never really fully let her go. So now her moving on.
And that was by her design.
Instead
that
of
was by her design.
Johnny, it's just,
I guarantee you, this is another one of those girls that was all about, hey, check back with me in a week or two.
Let's talk about what this actually is, Johnny. This is her continuing her life without him.
Yep.
All right. So, I mean, if you're trying to answer, was what we had even real? That's the wrong question. All right. Instead, asking, why am I still emotionally tied to someone who's chose a different path?
Yeah.
All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. Like, you got to understand, she didn't move on fast. She moved on while you were still holding on. And I think that's your problem here. Now,
well, and two things are at play here. Number one, she's trying to let him down easy and not let him cry too hard, especially if she can see and or hear it. And he is going to have to figure out a way to move on from her without clinging too tightly to what he, what he already had. guys have a hard time letting go of that first piece, that second piece, that best piece, whatever it was.
Yeah, go ahead and call in. I got the phone lines open. We'll be able to answer them now. All right, nephews. All right, back to this. I need you to understand closure doesn't come from conversations, it comes from cutting emotional access.
Look, never mind that. Closure is nothing more than a formality. And if she doesn't grade that formality, just know that she doesn't hold that high a class.
All right, nephew, you're on with Ask Your Favorite Uncles. What's good?
All right. Just real quick, this is the guy who called in last week Thursday, and I was talking about.
Hey, what's up, JD?
Relationship. Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
What we help you out with, nephew?
Okay. All right. Well, to be honest, like I learned at a rapid pace. I was just learning like a whole bunch of stuff from your page and other pages and stuff like that, like span of 2 weeks, and I could tell like it was never about. It was like she did something that was obviously betraying. Like she betrayed me, and that's like disrespectful. But it was never about her having intentions of disrespecting me. It was to be more clear, I ended up in a relationship with her while she never cut off her ex. So when we began talking, going with the flow, then eventually turning us dating. Obviously, I found out she still was talking to her ex even before we got into a relationship, and I found out shortly afterwards. But right now, fast forward to right now, she called me and said she needs some space. Before that, we talked about relationship talk, and I'm more of the communicator, and I knew that had put like a lot of pressure on what we had in our relationship. But it's not even that. It was like afterwards, like the cheating and stuff like that. So I could tell that she is feeling emotionally pressured and have like a sense of like guilt and stuff between the person she can't let go of and
JD, I'm gonna call timeout real quick.
Or whatever the case you call it, but
I'm gonna call timeout real quick. Why? It sounds like you said you kind of feel a little bit guilty. Why? Why is that?
No. I don't feel guilty.
She feels guilty.
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's genuine guilt or if it's a hook to try to pull him back in because she can feel him.
Well, if she is saying she feels guilty, then yes. But if I might have misheard him.
No. No. I just know like she didn't verbalize she feels guilty when I talked about. Listen, I talked to this girl and she's not like she's more of a avoidant attachment. She's not used to like opening up and talking about her feelings. And I talked to her. We talk respectfully in a calm manner and stuff like that. I know like she's just not ready. Like this door that she has with her ex, like it's still open. I can just tell. I just know, and it's like I can just tell like she's in a constant battle between what she feels as though she wants, but what she definitely can't. Like the choosing state. But for me personally, I kind of
tell me what you think. Tell me what you think the two sides of her personal battle are.
Say that last part again.
Tell me what two sides of her personal battle. Like, if she's having a personal battle, a decision to make, on one hand, what's on one hand and what's on the other when it comes to that?
Yeah. I definitely believe like she genuinely do like me. I would say she genuinely do like me, but.
Do you believe that, or do you want to believe that?
Okay.
Because look, I've been there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be delusional. Like I can tell, like I don't think
we never are.
Like she loved me to. Yeah, like I think that things were moving up like pretty fast for us, and she genuinely had an interest. Have interest obviously and like me and stuff like that. But just her not being like. Her still, I'm not trying to find the perfect words, but still having that intertwined with her ex and stuff like that. Like she's never been over like she's not over him. They're not over each other. So meeting me and talking and we get into a relationship, you know, her being disingenuous and knowing like what she's been doing behind closed doors. You know, like you just never truly know what a person truly thinks. But at this point for myself, I just emotionally been detaching from the relationship and just focused on me. She called me, she said she needed space and stuff like that. Like I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna give you that space. You know, whenever you want to talk about whatever is going on, you know, just, you know, let me know. But I just put myself in a different perspective because it's like, if it's not for me, it's not for me. And like, genuinely, like, I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to change you. Like, you definitely is not over that. So like, I gotta, you know, do me at the end of the day.
All right, I got a couple questions for you, nephew. You said y'all got into a relationship before she got over her ex. So how long were you vetting her for? Vetting. All right, let me break this down for you, nephew. You should not be making a woman your girlfriend if you have not been vetting her for at least 6 to 9 months. I'll even go as far to say a year to a lot of these guys
Maybe
who
12,
don't know how to have a vetting process.
Oh.
But you got to understand it. She's got to qualify for your team. She's got to make that commitment, get that commitment out of you.
Time out, Bill. Time out, Bill.
If you're willing to give her a commitment 2 months in, you're not vetting her properly. Of course, she's not over her ex or the guy she was talking to before you met her. You got to understand something. These women are out here in the wild. They meet guys every single day that are trying to smash them everywhere they go, at their job, at the gym, at the gas station. There's some sucker there that's going to pump her gas and probably pay for it too. So you really can't concern yourself with what they were doing before you came into their life. They didn't know they were going to meet you. But what you can't concern yourself with is her behaviors after she meets you, how consistent they are. And that's what we call the vetting process. You made her your girlfriend way too soon, nephew. If you would have made her earn that after, let's say, 6 months, here's what I want you to understand. People, men and women both do this. They wear a mask. They pretend to be something they're not, and they can keep that up for a few months, but they can't keep that up indefinitely. So when you make them go 6, 8, 9 months, showing you consistency, showing you who they really are, that you're either going to get the real them or that mask is going to slip and you're going to move on. You're going to realize you're not in alignment with them. So I know Johnny can't wait to tell you something here. I want to give him a chance to interject.
He knows me well.
You started messing up because you gave her a commitment way too soon.
Right. And guess
JD,
what?
I got to tell you, man.
Right. And
Go ahead,
JD.
Oh yeah, real fast. You're absolutely right. And I'm learning, like, I'm good. I'm happy, to be honest, to have learned everything I learned being in this relationship and the dynamic in which I'm in right now. So just taking this knowledge, you know, moving forward with any new relationship, I just have the knowledge of just paying attention to what they're showing me, like behaviors and their patterns, because that is truly, you know, matters.
I'm just going to tell you everything. Yep.
Now, I know Johnny's got something that he wants to say, but before you worry about getting into another relationship, I think you need to be a little more concerned with getting in a relationship with yourself first.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what I want to touch on,
Go ahead, Johnny. Here, I'll give you the ball. Run with it.
So, JD, I've seen your channel. I've seen a lot of your videos, and man, I got to tell you, first of all, dude, you're the shit, man. All right. But when it comes to fitness, you have goals, right?
Right.
And you have plans to reach those goals, right?
Right.
Because we all know a goal without a plan is just a wish. Now, the hard part for guys like us, and look, I've dealt with this too, is extending that to other parts of our life. So when it comes to relationships, do you have any goals?
Oh, do I have any goals in relationships? Yes, sir.
Yeah. So give me like 2 of them, because I know there's a lot. Give me 2.
To one of my goals when it comes to being in a relationship is just having someone that is as, I'm not trying to overthink this, but
No, that's
just building, being the same page, being mutual. When it comes to like the
Nephew, let me reset your frame a little bit, if you don't mind.
reset my frame, I'm thinking about a lot of stuff.
I know.
Well, no,
I know.
I really wanted to hear his answer out though.
But this is what we're trying to teach vetting, because Nephew, we want you to build a program, okay? And your program should be as simple, and you should know it off the top of your. It should be like walking over to the wall and turning on the light switch. You should be able to name off the things that you're looking for. You're going to want a woman that follows your lead. You're going to want a woman that's submissive. Now, there's certain things you want out of a woman and characteristics, but you got to understand, you got to be the man that they're going to be that for. So you're going to have to, like, when we talk about you building a program, I know you're thinking getting in future relationships. And why I mentioned getting in a relationship with yourself and building a program is because you can vet several women at the same time, nephew. You don't have to invest all your time and energy into something that's not going to work out like you did. And look, I'm going to tell you this straight. Look, you're still trying to understand this woman, and you're trying to justify why things that didn't work out. And if I'm being honest here, what you should be asking is, why did I tolerate this? All right. Like, when a woman's still talking to her ex, that means one of three things: that she hasn't fully detached, that she still values that connection that she had with him, or she's keeping an emotional backup, and none of those benefit you.
Yeah, I mean, so both you and Robert are our question asker. I would tell you the same thing. I would sit this woman down and say, hey, listen, obviously you're looking for something different from that which I'm looking for. I have a program. You have a program. Our programs do not go together. Blessings on your journey, Uncle Bill. What's the rest of that?
Blessings on your journey. That's it. Blessings on your journey. I hope you've been well. Now, look.
And you know what? Uncle Bill, we all hope she does well. Yeah, but most of all, we hope you do well. And we hope you continue to watch our program and, hang out with us every Monday and Thursday night at 9:35 p.m. Eastern.
Now, look, nephew, again, I want to talk to you a little bit more about building a program and vetting, because I know you had a little initial question about that. And so, like, I'm telling you, first thing you need is an approach. You need a solid approach that you're going to, when you see something you like, you got to, and shout out to Steve the Dean Williams at themanmindset.com. That is one of the best channels on YouTube. Steve likes to say it like this: bite them on the neck and drag them up a tree. And that's exactly what you should do. You shouldn't show any kind of hesitation or fear, because women can sense that. So now you don't want to be out of position with them. So you're not going to do some sucker shit like ask them for their number. You're not going to try to get their IG. You're not going to do any of that. When you see a woman you like, you're going to step to her and ask if there's anybody in her life that would have a problem if you wanted to give her your number. That's simple.
And listen, JD, I know
if she's not into you, she could make up having a boyfriend. Hey, it's blessings on your journey. You go the other way. There's no need to be awkward about it. But if you can do that and you repeat that several times throughout your week, you're going to end up with a couple numbers at the end of the week. And then we will show you how to set the date from getting that number without investing a bunch of your time. You should have just a few dates that you're willing to go out on. So every time you meet a new woman, you already got in your head that you're going to meet her at this little mom and pop coffee spot that you go to every single week. Now, once you get a few women that you're interested in talking to, Uncle Johnny and I'll show you how to vet them even further and find a woman that's in alignment with you, that's not emotionally tied to her ex, that really wants to be with you and everything you got going on. So it's in steps, But our goal here is for you to build a program to follow, and don't even worry about your next relationship or getting your mindset for that next relationship. Your next relationship should actually be with you, and any women that come into your life have to compete with that relationship you've built with yourself.
Yeah, and I mean when you compare those two, ask yourself: does she bring chaos or peace?
Answer you can never give, and that's real. So that's my mindset, and I just been pouring into myself, my gym, my content, and things like that. Even leaving out this relationship. So thank you so much for that advice.
Absolutely. Hey, well, JD, I got a request for you. Would you mind hanging on the line with us while we ask our next question? Maybe you can actually be part of our panel and help our friend Vince
Bonnie,
here.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I want to do. I was going to see if you would join our panel Thursday night where we break down the Bumble dating profiles. JD, you busy
Even better.
Thursday night?
What time do you start?
We start at 9:35. We'll be wrapped up by 11.
If that.
I'll send you the link, a StreamYard link, and I'll tell you, I'll send you some instructions offline. And if you can make it Thursday night, come on camera with us. Give the nephews your opinion of some of these women's profiles. We'd love to have you on. I see the stuff you're doing on TikTok. I appreciate you making positive content for young men out there. So we'd love to have you on with your uncles for an episode, nephew.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And text this phone number I called off of.
All right, I got you, nephew. All right, nephews, call in with your questions. All right, Johnny, you want to get to the next one? We're going to be on for at least another 45 minutes.
So we got question 2 from Vince. And Vince says the most important things for an LDR, which is the long distance relationship, to work. My girlfriend and I are 5 months into a long distance relationship. Now that our lovey-dovey phase has phased, we've been arguing. The main topic that we argue about is time. I feel we don't get enough time. 50 texts a day for me isn't enough. Bill, hit the button. 30 minutes a day on the phone maximum is not enough, Bill, if you don't mind. I mean, those buttons have a delay. I mean, I spend 5 to 6 days a week this way, mostly 5. I get her to myself on Saturday night for maybe 3 to 4 hours. So I'm now wondering what all is really necessary for an LDR to work. Am I in the wrong to expect at least more consistent time? So Vince is 24. She is 21.
All right. Now, if you think time is your problem, I'll tell you right now, it's not. It's really not. Your problem, nephew, is dependency. You said 50 texts a day isn't enough.
Vincent!
Bruh. Who has time to text somebody 50 times a day?
Dude, bruh, you should be so busy with class, with work, with making money, with making yourself a better person every single day, that you shouldn't even notice that you haven't talked to the girl that you're kind of seeing for 5 months.
30 minutes on the phone is enough, in addition to the 50 texts a day. Yeah. All right, nephew, please allow me to be direct here. That's not connection. That is consumption. And I'll even tell you where you're losing control, because what you're doing is trying to regulate your emotions through her availability. You're thinking, if we talk more, I'll feel secure. You're thinking, if I get more time, it'll feel right. Nephew. Bruh. No, you're outsourcing your stability. And look, there's no amount of time that can fix your anxiety. There's no amount of time that can fix your insecurity. There is no amount of time that is going to fix that lack of internal grounding that you have. It exposes it. Now, here's a hard truth, Matthew. 50 texts and daily contact isn't enough, then nothing she ever does is going to be. All right.
Yeah.
Needing more is what makes you lose more. Let's get that straight. Johnny, go ahead. Take this, please.
I'm so sorry. I was reading comments online. What's the
Hey, and shout out to everybody leaving comments.
dude? Listen, thank you so much for the live
TikTok.
chat.
Hey, your uncles appreciate all the love. Thank you so much, everybody.
Listen, Uncle Bill caught me off guard. I was trying so hard to read your guys' comments, and these glasses are outdated. I need another eye exam. So,
well, Johnny, he's being needy.
he really is. I mean, the hard part about this whole thing is that he is trying to make her care when she is just trying to hold on to whatever attraction she may or may not have. And I mean, after 5 months in such a long distance, I mean, 5 months, let's say you're 200 miles apart for 5 months. You're not going to have the intensity of a couple that's been together for 2 weeks that has been able to see each other, say, 10 out of the 14 days. It's just not, so you're looking for the kind of intensity that's going to give you those butterflies, those feely feels in your stomach, whatever it happens to be. And you're just not going to get it. Yeah, I mean, it's just not going to happen from that distance and from that low level of attachment that less than a half of the year is going to give you.
All right, I'm done being silly.
I mean, no, it's not going to happen. No, but I get it.
Right, Hey, I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm doing like 5 things at once. Because we started out with some technical difficulties, but we bounced back. I got the phone lines open. Call up with your questions. Ask your favorite uncles. 330-269-5142.
Benjamin, the answer to your question is the mountaintops are at a higher altitude, which is thinner air and a lower capacity for the air to hold the moisture, which is why it snows. You're welcome.
All right, hold on a second.
All right, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, long distance relationships are they're just tough because distance does kind of dilute the closeness of the attraction, much like water dilutes the viscosity of oil, or the alcohol content of a glass of wine, which makes them call it a spritzer. That's exactly what it is. Long distance relationships are kind of like a relationship spritzer. You're gonna have to add water to have some kind of substance to whatever connection the two of you think you have over not only a long distance, but the scarcity of how often you see each other. I think most of us learn why it's not a good idea back when we're in college. But some people seem to think they can make it work in the 30s and 40s, and maybe you can, but I got to tell you, there's too much temptation. There's too many locals that I could see as better options. Higher convenience levels, more of an ability to get together. I mean, at 45 years old, I'm going to tell you right now, actually at 25 or older, I wouldn't bother with it.
Now, Johnny, I'll tell you, I'll give you the game on long distance relationships right now, nephews. The only way that you can have a long distance relationship with a woman is if you're in an open relationship with her. If you have no expectation of commitment, but you still make time for each other, and that's all you need to concern you about is the time that she agrees to spend with you. And what you do when you're not with her, what she does when she's not with you, that's each other's business. But that's not the problem here, Johnny. This young man thinks that they don't spend enough time together, but the reality of the problem here is he doesn't feel secure without that constant contact. And that's the root.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I mean, the thing of it is if that's what you are needing in this particular point of your life? Because I mean, I'm going to go ahead and guess he's under 25, which, as you know, psychologists tell us, is still during the formative years of our brain's early development. And so this is how he's establishing how he associates contact and how he associates love and romance or whatever it happens to be, that intertwining of those emotions. He's still figuring out how that works. And a long distance relationship is not going to give him an accurate portrayal of how a close knit, intimate relationship is supposed to be.
Well, you're trying to fix an internal problem with an external supply, more text, more calls, more time. And nephew, dude, I need you to understand that creates pressure. And you know what kills attraction fast? Pressure. Now, this isn't about her changing. This is about you restructuring yourself, nephew. So the first thing you need to do is cut that dependency loop right now. Now, your brain, I know it's wired like this. If I hear from her, I feel good. If I don't, I feel anxious. And we need you to break that. But we're not just going to sit here and tell you you need to break that. We're going to tell you how to break that. So you're going to have to do things like stop checking your phone constantly. You don't respond instantly every time. And you're going to intentionally create communication gaps. You're not playing games. What you're doing is you're retraining your nervous system. And the most important thing we're going to need you to do to get yourself out of this is build a life outside of this woman.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, she's too central. And that's why 50 texts a day isn't enough. You need the gym, other physical workouts like biking, Johnny Dumbbell Challenge. You should have,
which, by the way, you're getting a copy of.
Structured days like work and goals. I would say you need a really good social environment. And there should be something that you're building, something that you're working on. If this
and nothing that you're chasing.
If this woman is your main source of stimulation, you're always going to feel like it's not enough. And you got to shift from this consumer to contributor. Right now, you're consuming her time, her attention, her energy. Instead, you need to be someone who adds value when present, not someone who needs constant presence. So instead of texting this woman all day or checking in constantly, do this, nephew. Shorter, more intentional communication, less frequency, higher quality, and leave space for the next interaction. Attraction grows in anticipation, not saturation.
Yeah, and Vince, I would even take an extra step. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and say that you're an absolute empath, because even if you weren't, you could benefit from this. When was the last time you looked yourself in the mirror and said, how are you doing? I mean, because you're so worried about, how you're going to be able to keep this thing going, how you're going to keep her interested, how you're going to be able to keep that connection bridge across the distance, across the time. I'm going to go ahead and say, dude, you're not equipped for a long distance relationship. Most of us aren't. Now, if you really want to keep this whole thing going, you're going to need to be able to get to know and validate yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and say, as young as you are, you're wasting a lot of your formative, a lot of your youthful years waiting for something that may or may not ever happen. I mean, that's the way long distance relationships are. It's like a high yield but high risk investment. It might bring you a lot of money, but it might lose you a lot of money. This might bring you a lot of time, love, and happiness, but it might lose you a lot of time where you could have been making a connection with somebody local who could have given you, something of this relationship of diluted closeness, of diluted passion. Diluted passion is not good. But what that's going to bring to this. I really think that based on the way you kind of worded, the way you said what you had to say, this is not something you're equipped for. And you know something? That's okay. It's okay for you to prefer somebody closer by. Nothing wrong with that.
Nephew, I need you to ask yourself, if she didn't text me for a date, would I still be okay? And if that answer is no, then you're not ready for a long distance relationship. All right. Here's the thing, nephews, and this goes for all of you, and not even in long distance relationships. The more you need from her, the less she'll want to give.
By the way, Uncle Bill, we got a comment in the live chat relating directly to that. Yep.
All right, Johnny, you want to move on to our last question? I don't want to beat him up too much over this long distance relationship. I just want him to understand that if her presence is what keeps you stable, her absence is what's going to break you.
Yeah. So this third question we have tonight is actually not from a young man. It's from a young woman. And I want the live chat. Yes. And I want the live chat to decide whether she needs the advice. I want the live chat to decide whether she needs the advice or her boyfriend, or I should say ex, needs the advice. Because I think there are opportunities on both sides here. I'm just going to get and read it. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Hey, no, hold on a second. Before you do that, Johnny, shout out to her for writing it. We always have women that just support us so much on these channels. They're the ones hitting the like button. They're the ones sharing our content. I look at my analytics, and especially on TikTok, it's half women. So I'm just thrilled that we have one right in tonight. Shout out to her. Hey, I guess we're answering questions for all you ladies now, so feel free to write Uncle Johnny.
So this is from Madison. She's 21, from Oakland, Pennsylvania, which is where the campus of the University of Pittsburgh is. Shout out to Maddie. Thank you. So she says, an anxious partner and a breakup. Yeah, bless her indeed. She says, hi, guys. I know you normally give advice to young men, but I'm a woman, and I was hoping you have advice for either me or my boyfriend. Before we get into it, Johnny, be nice. No promises. Here goes. Maddie, you know me better than that. I want to break up with my anxious partner. I'll say right away that I respect all types of attachment, and I'm not going to demonize anxiety here. My boyfriend and I started dating 4 months ago. During our friendship, I saw him as a cool dude who easily gets along with people, is not afraid to defend his position, show his character, in general, a self-confident person. He took great care of me. We had common jokes and interests, views and tastes in various matters. When we started dating, we were very comfortable together. Everything changed after a month of us being in a relationship. My family and I went on vacation for 2 weeks. During this time, he started to worry a lot, constantly asking where I am and how I am. There were too many questions, and I felt a note of anxiety. And so it turned out. He told me that he felt like losing touch with me simply because I wasn't around. Excuse me there. That was horrible. He was constantly afraid that we would break up. Also, he confessed to me that he is an anxious partner. Yeah, all right. I loved him, so I wanted him to feel comfortable. In other words, she's attracted to him and not tired of him yet. I wanted him to know that he was accepted for who he was and that his feelings were valuable. The topic of anxious attachment wasn't new to me. I had read about it before. However, now I have studied this in more detail, have read how to adapt to such a person correctly. I've prepared myself. After returning home, I talked to my boyfriend about this topic. We came to the conclusion that I love him in any form. I will accept him and understand everything. In parentheses, as long as she's still attracted to him. The main thing is that he should also be aware of how this can affect me and some of his thoughts are anxiety, not dislike. I would tell this guy right about now, she's giving him a lot more chances than most modern women are going to give you. I don't know at what point, but things started to get worse. A couple of weeks after my return, we began a difficult period. We thought it would go, we thought it would all go away through conversations, discussing problems, and so on. And initially it was. However, when the topic concerned anxiety, each time the situation got worse. At first, I told him why I was online but didn't respond to his messages. He's asking you to explain to him why you're online but not responding to his messages? Okay. All right. Then there were questions about why I answered on one social network and not the other. He really asked you this? Then he was hurt by the fact that I could be in a bad mood. Uncle Bill, I wish that I could sit here and say that it gets better from here, but it doesn't. Listen to this. Then he was hurt by the fact that I could be in a bad mood while sitting next to him. He immediately thought it was because of him. For example, I could argue with my mom and be upset, and he took it personally and was also offended. And every time I had to explain that I loved him, and my bad mood did not apply to him. His doubts, oh my God, his doubts later began to reach tears. And we just walked together after classes. He cried, and I comforted him and explained that I loved him. Any serious conversation or bad mood could bring tears to his eyes. Despite the fact that I wasn't just comforting him at such moments, I was telling him that I accepted him, loved him. My bad mood has nothing to do with him. The situations did not end, but only became more frequent and more difficult. I saw that his anxiety was hard on him. He knows that his thoughts are not true, but he still suffers. He promised me 100 times that I'm trying not to laugh. I really am. He promised me 100 times that he would solve this, that he would get rid of anxiety, which I got to tell you, honey, that's an uphill battle if he even gets up the hill. But as far as I know, this is impossible. There's a need for a more complex approach, and you can't just get rid of it. I explained that to him as well.
Bruh.
Last month has become Uncle Bill, listen, the last month has become unbearable. I feel mentally exhausted. During this time, I've been to where my area of responsibility ends as a person, and I'm stuck. I know his subtle mental organization 100%. I probably shouldn't have tried to get into his head that much. It's very difficult to feel like both his beloved person and the cause of all his worries at the same time. I look at him. He's crying because he's afraid of us breaking up, that I'm going to leave him. Meanwhile, I'll take care of him, listen to him, give gifts, and much more. It's hard to be someone who loves and someone who hurts at the same time. It's hard to be unheard. It's hard when your love is ignored. In between, I don't want to devalue or, not devalue, degrade his feelings. I know he's worried that he's that kind of person, but I can't handle it mentally anymore. It seems that so much effort has been invested, so many emotions, and I don't consider myself an ideal partner. If anything, I've also done things that hurt. Today, I told him that I was tired. I told him everything I felt, trying to put it mildly. He said he understood me, but I was getting those words out of him anyway. As always, I talked more than he did. As always, I explained both his and my position. After the conversation, I felt relieved for about 15 minutes. Then everything came back. During the conversation, I mentioned that ignoring my feelings could lead to a breakup, which brought tears to his eyes again. And it killed me. I can't look at him anymore. Look, she says I can't look at him anymore. It's hard for me to mentally think that I might hurt him by wanting to break up, but it's impossible to bear it anymore. I really don't know how to break up with him properly. I don't want him to have any injuries, resentments, or self-loathing after our relationship. I still respect him as a person, but I no longer love him as a partner. Thanks for reading this, guys. I know it was long. I'll be glad to hear Uncle Bill's and Johnny Dumbbell's opinion. All right.
Wow.
Uncle Bill, I'm going to let
complete and total anxiety collapse. Madison, you already know what needs to happen. You're just trying to do it without hurting him.
Yeah.
Let's have a little reality check here. You supported him, you reassured him, you educated yourself,
you coddled him,
you showed patience, and what happened? It got worse. So to me, I'll tell you where this relationship broke. It's not because he's a bad person, but it's because he can't regulate himself.
No. And,
so what happened? She became his emotional anchor, Johnny, his reassurance system, his stability in his life. And that's not a relationship. That's emotional dependency.
Bruh.
Yeah, Madison, here's the thing. What you're noticing right now is a lack of leadership and a lack of masculinity out of this guy. All right. And if he's watching this, and he's probably not, but I wish he was. You are trying so hard to hang on to something that should be hanging on to you. And she doesn't, not only does she not feel that draw to hang on to you, she feels that draw to cut that rope and get the hell away from you, man. Like you're basically telling her, I need you. Not I love you, not I want you, but you are a necessity to my life. Come on, man.
You can't love someone into stability. And the more you try, you end up losing yourself. So, and you already said it. You said, I don't love him as a partner anymore. And that's your answer.
Yeah.
The guilt, you're just trying to protect him from reality. All right.
Yeah, Madison, what you're trying to hang on to is nostalgia. What you're trying to hang on to is history. What he's trying to hang on to is his own sanity and his own sense of self-worth. And God, if you have a chance, if you see this, show this to him, because he needs to understand that you need to move forward being confident in who you are. He needs to move forward being confident in who he is. But obviously, those two things don't go together.
Well, Johnny, let's talk about this. You mentioned something about maybe some advice for him. What would be your advice to him about staying with somebody who's already emotionally checked out?
Bruh.
Because that's
I'm
what
going to say stop fucking trying out, because I guarantee you that he auditioned to get a date with her, and once he got the date with her, he auditioned to be able to be her boyfriend, and once he got that, he auditioned to make sure that she was happy every time they were together. And when that didn't happen every single time, he started to kind of down himself because his performance in his own mind wasn't good enough. The fact of the matter is, he's always chasing this objective goal of being the perfect boyfriend that she can't possibly leave. He wants to be something that she doesn't want to let go of, and he is willing to try his ass off to be that person so badly that he's willing to sacrifice his dignity, in the process. And she is trying her ass off to continue to respect him, to continue to understand his position, to continue to be that supportive, stilt for him. But the thing of it is that the more he exposes, the more he bears, the more he cries, the more he whines, the more he gives her. I mean, he's just doing nothing more but showing her that not only would it be possible for her to walk all over him, but even if she wasn't willing to do that, even if she wasn't going to be that kind of a person, and I mean, from the sounds of it, she doesn't sound like that type of person. But even though she's a nice enough woman to not take advantage of his weakness, she's also struggling with the fact that she's not compelled to follow his leadership. And why? He's not exhibiting it at all.
Johnny,
in
I
any
think
way, shape, or form.
her situation really isn't about how do I not hurt him. It should really be more about how do I end this without lying, dragging it out, or losing myself.
Yeah.
All right, so let me reset her mindset here, because you're not responsible for his emotional reaction.
Yeah, Maddie,
this
you
is
know what you
advice
need
I
to
would
do.
give any young men that are writing in too. You're responsible for being honest, for being respectful, and for being clear. You're trying to protect him from pain, and that's how people stay too long and end up making it worse.
And Maddie, I'm going to tell you this right now. When you drop him on his ass, it's going to hurt.
I'm going to
He's
give
gonna
you the right
cry.
way to break
He's
up
g-
with
he's gonna he's gonna fall to his knees. But when he does, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to share with him the link to either Uncle Bill's and or my channel, and tell him that if he watches us every Monday and Thursday night at 9:35 p.m. Eastern time, he is going to eventually find what he needs to move forward and move forward positively and masculinely and successfully.
All right, Johnny, I want to give her the right way to break up. So, and nephews, this goes for y'all too. You need to be decided before you even speak. It should be a done deal. No, I'm not sure. No, maybe we should take some space. No, let's see how things go. You're being indirect. That's not kindness, that's confusion. All right. She needs to walk into this knowing I am ending this. You need to say it clear and simple, final. No long speech, no over explaining. Something like, I care about you, I respect you, but I can't continue in this relationship. I'm mentally exhausted and I don't feel the same way anymore. That's it. You can say those exact words if you need to, Madison. And I'm even going to tell you what not to do here. You don't list all of their flaws. You don't bring up every issue or grievance you've ever had with them. You don't turn it into a therapy session trying to help them. And you don't try to fix him on your way out. You're not here to help him understand everything. Madison, you're there to end the relationship honestly. And next, do not negotiate after, because from what you've said, he's likely going to cry. He's likely going to promise to change, Madison. He's going to ask for another chance. He's going to try to explain.
Which is only going to make him do more of the sim shit he's already been doing.
Well, Madison, this is the trap. Because if you reopen the door, that cycle's going to continue. Your response needs to stay calm, consistent, and unchanged. And you can even tell him, listen, I hear you, but my decision isn't changing. There's no arguing, there's no convincing, and there's no back and forth with it. Now, this is critical. You need a clean cut after. No daily check-ins. No emotional support after the breakup. No, I'm still here from you. And especially no long conversations, no offering to be friends. That kind of stuff is going to keep him attached, and it's going to keep you stuck. You need to accept the discomfort. This is what we tell young men all the time. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. You're trying to
happens to the best of us.
Guilt. And here's the thing. Guilt doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that you're doing something hard. And here's the hard truth for you, Madison. And I'm glad you wrote in and your favorite uncles get a chance to tell you this. Staying when you're already mentally checked out is more damaging than leaving, honestly. Because now he can feel something off. Now you're going to feel trapped. And the relationship is just going to continue to be even more of an emotional strain. Nephews, if somebody wants to leave, let them go with dignity. And if you're the one leaving, don't drag it out through a slow breakup. nephews. That's the game. That's how
Yeah,
you
I
do
mean,
it right.
you got to
And
know when
that's
it's
how you
over, and you
keep
got to
your
know when to walk
integrity
away. Yep,
intact. All right, John, you got
absolutely.
anything else for Madison, Johnny?
Madison, look, here's the thing. It's going to be hard for you to drop this guy because he is going to. I mean, he's already shown signs of a clinger. So I mean, understand that you're going to have to use whatever resources you need to use to get away from him. But I would say if you have any compassion for him, send him the link to this. Excuse me. Send him the link to this show. Send him. So he can see what we do every Monday and Thursday night, so we can help him move on, in a really successful fashion as well. He's going to need to like himself a lot more than he already does. I can already tell you that. But he's going to need to want to help himself. So, again, shoot him a link in a text message. Tell him that you care about him and that you think he should be able to, come and talk to his uncles, and we'll be able to help him out the best we can.
Nephews, tonight, it wasn't about them. It was about you. Because nobody in these situations lost someone overnight. They got pushed there slowly through pressure, through neediness, through trying to hold on instead of holding yourselves together. And that's the part most of you never face. You tell yourself that you cared too much. No, nephews, you needed too much. You needed reassurance. You needed constant contact. You needed them to calm your mind, to stabilize your mood, or even feel secure. And when that need shows up, it doesn't pull people closer. It pushes them away. You feel a shift. You saw the distance. You noticed the change in their energy. But instead of stepping back and observing, you lean in harder. You text more. You explain more. You try to fix something that frankly wasn't yours to fix. And that's where you lost it. Not them, but nephews, control of yourself. So listen carefully. Listen to your uncles here. Attraction doesn't die from a lack of effort. It dies from emotional pressure. And nephews, pressure comes from one place: dependency. So look, different outcomes tonight, or excuse me, different situations rather, but the same outcome. These are people who needed a relationship to regulate themselves. And when that happens, the relationship collapses under the weight of it. So what's the move? Well, you don't become colder. You don't become careless, but nephews, you become more grounded. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop tying your mood to someone else's behavior, and you stop trying to control how they show up, and you start doing something that most men avoid. Nephews, you start to regulate yourself. Because you can sit in uncertainty and not panic, not chase, and not lose your frame. Everything changes, nephews. You stop the overthinking. You stop that suffocating connection, and you stop tolerating situations that don't feel right. And for the first time, you become someone people want to stay with and not escape from. So if you take anything from tonight, nephews, please take this. You don't lose people because you love too hard. You lose them because you needed them too much. So listen to your uncles when we tell you to build yourself, ground yourself, stabilize your mind, work on your emotions and your life, because the more control that you have over yourself, the less you'll ever have to chase anyone else. And if you got value out of tonight, please drop a comment in the chat. Or
give us a like and subscribe. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you got questions, write Uncle Johnny to get him on next Monday's show. Nephews, stop trying to hold on to people and start holding your position. Now go forth and conquer.
That's right. Robert, Vince, and Madison, you're all going to get a copy of the Johnny Dumbbell Challenge. I expect to hear from you in 2 to 4 weeks. But between now and Thursday, remember, we're not going to be there. And even if we were, we don't really have bail money for you. So remember, keep the alcohol and drugs to a minimum. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park. Because accidents cause people. Good night.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.